Hey guys, can you tell I still don't have my regular light set up? Yeah, yay for breaking lights. Anyway, today I had about 1,000,000 things I could choose from to share with you guys. I have so many art ideas, but I had to pick one, and I have very little time because in July and August and the whole summer, I'm barely home. But here we go. Let's get into it. What we're doing today is this. And the cat has joined me. Of course he's joined me. This is a very old art subscription box. I don't have the date. Does this have a date? October 30, 2018. Oh, wow. October 2018. Oh, I wonder if this is going to be another Inktober box. Oh, we'll see. It better not be alcohol ink. I don't think I'm in the mood for it today. It's... oh. Did I sound much more excited? It's oil paint. It's oil paint. Okay, so that is a green 4-oil medium gel. It's an LEA oil paint at least. Cobalt blue hue. Hi, kitten. And what's this one? This is, he's knocking stuff over. Hooker's green. Cadmium yellow medium hue and probably a white. Yes, titanium white. Why these? You can make green with these two. Where's our red? I'm just saying, where's our red? I know, I'm grumpy. I am actually really grumpy today. I'm laughing and stuff a lot because I enjoy being with you guys, but I'm actually really grumpy today. Okay, Snap by Princeton Filbert. That is a pretty soft brush for oil paints, but I like it. Okay, what else? I know my makeshift light for now glares a lot. Artist panel, smooth finish for oil and acrylics. So these are pretty nice. Very smooth, however. And the exact same thing in the larger size. So we have a 6x6 and an 8x8. And that is it. Our instruction sheet has this quite gorgeous painting on it. How did they get this orange? Someone had a red and they didn't share it with us. All right. History, Van Gogh, project pointers, in the box, project tools. This is before they had the prices included. And then their little project guide for guiding you through a project if you know nothing. Okay, so this is kind of serious. But no way to put the paint like on a surface. We could use the plastic coating of this. If you didn't have anything else, I guess that would work. And no way to clean your brush after the fact. So I'll go ahead and grab some of my own stuff. I'll have to read about this stuff as well. Maybe they're thinning it with that. Still have to clean our brush in some way. Okay, research time. Be right back. I just went outside and grabbed my solvent container. It's so disgusting. It's actually solid up to this line here, and there is some liquid in there. I'm afraid to open it. Anyway, I do have another one. I can't even open it. Maybe this one will stay till the husband gets home. I've broken my hands a few times, so my grip strength is not the best. Anyway, I think I have another one. I'm not sure I would use this goopy liquid anyway. Oh, look, it has cobwebs stuck to it. So this is what happens when you leave these for a very long time and you've used them a lot. That's like all oil paint sediment goopiness. And I'll go find my other one and leave this for later. Here's the other one. It's a little cleaner-ish. And you can see much better on the inside there. Let's see if I can open this one. Oh, that was easy. Okay. And I have this in a silicoil jar, which I will link below. And I know this channel has been heavy on oil painting lately. That's just because I finished up that oil painting class. And now I just picked this randomly from my art supplies. My old unopened art subscription boxes, and it happened to be oil paint. So sorry about that, but we will get back to watercolor very soon because I still have that Himimiya on 16 different watercolor papers video coming up soon. So make sure you're subscribed down below with the bell notifications on if you don't want to miss that. Anyway, that other jar is probably the goop back from when I was painting at like 16 years old. If you missed that video showing all my teenage paintings, or most of my teenage paintings, or some of my teenage paintings, I'll link that in the corner for you there. I also feature what my students did in their class. Now this silicoil jar is obviously much newer. The lid comes flat, but after you put solvent in it, I know it's still really dusty, it kind of pulls it, kind of sucks that lid in to a little bit of a divot, just so you know. This is supposed to be odorless mineral spirits. It's not. It's pretty stinky. I'm gonna put that over here maybe on a paper towel. And I'm going to work on the big panel, the 8x8. I just find that working with oil paints on a larger surface is much more enjoyable for me. And wow, this is a really smooth surface, so this will be interesting. Once in a while I work on canvas paper, which I did show you guys in that oil painting video that I already linked in the corner. And even that has a tooth. This is completely smooth. Let me get it in the glare of the light so you can see exactly how smooth it is. Also, I'm going to go ahead and use this palette paper that I have back from the good old days because it's very old. So these are a couple years old. I want to see what happens when we squeeze them out. I'm going to do white first. Titanium white. See how it fared after sitting in a box for a few years. Seems pretty normal, and that is way too much probably, but that's okay. We'll do some blue, some binder up at the top of that. See that? We're just gonna put the lid on. The paper towel right here. Just gonna soak some of that up. Squeeze the lid on, and this probably won't help a whole lot because there's not a lot of airspace in there to move stuff around, but maybe if I can massage it a little bit, pound it down. I don't know, we'll see. See what we come up with now. I want to do a blue sky, so I need quite a bit of blue. Oh yeah, that helped some. This feels like very thick, very firm paint. I wonder if it would be that way brand new off of the shelf. That one's messy too, so let's put the lid on there. Messy being like binder is kind of separating oil, whatever is in this paint. I mean, I know it's oil color. I know that. But the goop that separates, is that oil? Like, what is that? I don't know. And I'm probably not going to bother looking it up for you guys. So if you know, if it's more than just some kind of oil, put that down in the comments below. I'm just going to pretend I already know this one's a mess and mix this up. This is cool. I've never used Sennelier oil paint before. I said that weird because I was reading and talking at the same time. That is a lot of paint. And this medium stuff is supposed to just be a better way of thinning out your paint than using stuff like mineral spirits. Okay, so it reminds me of like a thick version of liquid or something. That's what I used to use a lot when I was oil painting. I just threw my brush. Good thing I'm using the blue first. Let's see what this paint, oh wow, that's really thick. Let's right away get some of this because we can't even move this paint around. Part of this blue is the separation, I think, of that pigment and the binder in there. Let's see, this feels like a pretty good consistency. Let's see what it looks like on the board. That's what I was afraid of. This is such a smooth surface. Even though the paint feels pretty good, this is going to be pretty transparent on this smooth surface. And in that case, it's good that they gave us such a soft brush. If we had a stiffer brush, then it would pull even more of this paint right off and you'd be able to see brush strokes right through this more than you already are, even though we are already seeing a lot. Wow, yeah, this blue is not happy about being separated from its binder. Interesting, I thought this would be so dark, but since so much of this smooth surface is showing through, it's really light. Let's see what this white feels like. Okay, so the white's more like I'm used to an oil paint feeling like. Still thick, but I'll grab a little bit of that medium. Anyway, still thick, but better than the blue feels. This might not be something that I can just finish up for you guys today. We'll see. This medium is supposed to make your paint dry faster, but this is such a smooth surface. We'll see if I can even do an all-in-one painting for you guys. I only have time to do this today. We'll get whatever progress we get and call it good. I don't know that hair I just pulled out was from the brush. I don't think so. I have the cat that had just been walking around the desk a few seconds ago, so probably from him. These snap filbert brushes are usually pretty nice. So you need thicker paint here to go over the thinner paint, but this paint is so messed up. I don't know how much luck we'll have. I might try getting some more out of the tube a little bit farther down, you know what I mean? And seeing if I can't get a thicker consistency there. Ah, that smooth surface is really fighting me because see how when you put your brush into it, it just pulls the paint up clear to the bottom. So you have to really drag your brush over very gently. And you have to do that a bit with oil painting anyway when you're layering like this, but not like this, not this much. This is pretty extreme. So I would recommend probably not working on a surface like this if you're just starting out, because it's going to be really challenging. Like here I had a slightly stiffer area of the brush and it pulled that line right there, you guys can see in the glare. So, really frustrating. Now, I have a lot of paint on my brush here, but I'm thinking of moving to a different color. I was just gonna see how dark that was down there. Anyway, I was thinking of moving to a different color, and if I do that, what I would like to do is pull some of this paint off of my brush first before dipping it into my paint cleaner, my solvent, because if I can do that, it keeps my solvent cleaner, because this is a lot of paint. You don't want this much paint to be just dissolved into your solvent jar. So pull the paint off like that. See how much paint came off? You can do that a few times. And sometimes when you do that, you don't even need to wash your brush in your solvent because it pulls enough off that you're good. But then I want to switch to a completely different color. The blue actually, if I added yellow, I could just leave this in my brush. But I'll show you guys. Then you can just rub it across your silicoil inside here. And I'm trying to remember, I think this might be hardware store odorless mineral spirits. And I did find that it just didn't work as well last time I used it as what I grew up using, which was, I think, just like the full-on turpentine. Yeah, oops, but this doesn't work as well as that, so keep that in mind. I know a lot of people use Gamsol. It's clean enough, but I also now have a lot of solvent in my brush, so we'll usually dab that out a little bit. Or you can use that solvent in your brush to thin your next coat of paint. So now I'm going to do a pretty light, ooh, that yellow's super thick as well. Okay, let's grab some of this medium. That's probably too much. That feels about right. So this is where you'll get a lot of oil paints that are thick like this. And I like using slightly softer oil paints right from the start. And so I really found that I was enjoying using like the Bob Ross soft paints when I was starting to get more serious into painting when I was younger, because they start out soft already and you don't have to use medium as much to thin them. All right, we're just gonna do some fields here. I probably should have brought up a reference photo because I don't paint well from my mind at all. I usually almost always need something to look at. Now the ABCAT I showed you in that video already linked in the corner, that I did do from my mind. There's a few times in my life where I've come up with a painting that I like without looking at any kind of reference, but very rarely does that happen for me. Point is, this painting could be a wreck. That's all right. Really, I just want to find out what this surface is like to work on, what these paints are like, how messy I can make my desk over here by scooting paints under things that shouldn't be. Okay. Regardless, I'm having fun. Here, I'll tilt it like that. I'm having fun. It's super fun to paint in oil paints in general. And now that I've painted a little bit more on this smooth surface, yes, there's the challenges with the blending, but this is nice. This is something I might continue to do. You can get your paint the right consistency and master your brush strokes so that you don't end up with pulling paint off of this surface, then that's pretty cool. All right. I almost lost it. Let's keep this simple. I don't know, my husband and I just traveled to Kentucky from Colorado, for example. So we traveled through Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, all these places with fields and whatnot that looked pretty much just like this, and that's all you saw. There were some windmills, quite a few windmills. Once in a while there were trees. Obviously in Kentucky there's lots of trees. I like this medium stuff. This is kind of nice. I was thinking we should make some trees back there just to make this a little more interesting. So they have more like bushy trees. See, that's a thing. Sometimes you need a thicker application. Sometimes you need a thinner application. If you try and pick up your paint too from your palette where it's kind of on your brush on the end, like that, that helps as well, because you can dab the brush and it will leave the paint behind without pulling up anything else. I'm going to rub some of the paint off of my brush now on this paper towel that I've already been using. I was probably rubbing too much off. Grab a little more paint, just kind of feel what we got here. Grab some more little bush areas back in the background. You can see it's pulling the yellow paint off, but it should be pretty light back there. Cool. I have no idea what just happened there. Did you guys see what happened there? Because I missed it, but I have a big scratch on there, right there. Maybe I hit the edge of my paintbrush, or the handle, when I was mixing some paint over on my palette. Don't know. Okay, that took a few hours. Just kidding, that was a few minutes. It's all right. That's bugging me, so I think we need to put another tree in near the front. That's how I got those splashes on there. I'm over there cleaning my brush and it's splashing out onto this. See those droplets right there in the glare? And guess what happens when that starts to dry up? You get blooms. Did you know you could get blooms in oil as well as watercolor? Well, now you know. I don't really want those in there. Oh, look, it pulled the paint right up. That's doing its job, doing its job. All right, we'll see if we can clean the brush over here without splashing. Yeah, it's over here far away this time. As an aside here, this is about as clean as I can get this brush with the mineral spirits. So what I'll do now is take the Masters Soap Brush Cleaner over at my sink, and this is pretty much all the mineral spirits is out of it, and soap this just to double check that this is going to be fully clean. All right, what did I think? I don't know. The smooth surface, I was like, oh, this is going to be really hard to work on, and then I was like, oh, this is really nice to work on. So I have a lot of these panels, so I'll probably pull them out again and try with my water mixable oils, maybe my ancient oils that I still have from when I very first started oil painting, and these, and I'll just add them all to my collection here. Use them together. I think I would like to explore this a little bit more. These are nice because they're really easy to frame, and you don't even have to frame them if you don't want. As far as this painting goes, it's okay. What I will probably do is let this dry completely. We'll see how long it takes. Maybe I'll give you an update on that, because the paint layer I put down is pretty thin with the exception of the trees, and those are still pretty thin, but thicker than the rest of it. So I'll give you an update on how long that takes to dry in general, and then probably pull up a reference photo and see if I want to actually make this a real painting, not just a mess around, let's see what these feel like kind of painting. But that is what I have time for today, so thank you so much for joining me. Again, stay posted for lots of watercolor updates. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Real quick, before you go, did I make a mess here? Not really, perfect. Okay. Look how much paint I have left there. So I don't think I have an oil painting class starting up until, yeah, September. So it may be a while before I would even get back to oil painting. So this paint, what I could do is I could cover this with plastic wrap, maybe like cut the sheet off, put it in the freezer if I wanted to. Anyway, cover it with plastic wrap. If I were going to use it in the next week or two, that would work really well. So I'm sad about losing so much titanium white and stuff if I don't get back to this, but I thought I would need a lot of paint. They always say squeeze out more than you need or more than you think you need, but I wonder if I might be leaning towards the squeeze out less than you think you need because you just have your tube right here and can squeeze out more, maybe? I don't know. Either way, it's a pain, but that's a lot of paint to have left, and it's all over me. This is, oh, that's the wrong filter. Cat, hey, what are you doing over there? Dude, making a mess. He's making a mess. Now this silicoil, no, what do you call that? I just splashed again, didn't I? Yes, I did. I just splashed again. I'm like, hey, I did it. And then I did not. And yeah, you shouldn't be touching your hand like I just did.